last night I was counting sheep. I was, I was in a slumber, and just like the late great Martin Luther King, I had a dream. And this was more of a fever dream, honestly, where I made a YouTube channel and I ranked machines, top 10 machines. I don't know why, but I think it was a message from God to make this. So I'm going to make, I have my list here. I have a list of my top 10 machines, starting off with guillotines. Now, guillotines are, a very old machine, possibly one of the oldest on this list here. And, it's only in the top 10 because we don't really use it anymore. It's only at the 10th spot here because we have some heavy hitters on this list. And, I mean, it's very, efficient at its job. I don't think anybody survived the guillotine when they were, subject to it. So I put it on the list here because it's very efficient at what it's used for. You have the device, it sends it down, it sends a little saw blade down, and it decapitates the victim, usually for committing an atrocity like being a woman in the 1500s. So that's, that's on the list. At number 9, we have 3D printers. They're not really utilized that much as you'd think. They can create anything, and they're not really utilized that much, so they're only at the 9th spot, but they're pretty fascinating. I've never personally used a 3D printer. I should also note I've never personally used a guillotine, but I forgot to mention that. 3D printers, they're not really utilized that you'd think they would be, but they can make some pretty cool shit I've seen, but it's not really, mind-blowing, but it should be on the list. Then we have at number 8, we have laser cutters. Laser cutters are just pretty cool. They're fucking lasers, bro. Goddamn lasers. Nothing to say much about laser cutters. They're just pretty sick. Then you have brakes, just in general. You have a 1,000-pound vehicle going 100 miles per hour at a incoming child, and then it can just stop that, just like that. And if it wasn't there, that child would have been disintegrated right then and there. So I have brakes at number, 7? Then we have airplanes. We have airplanes, or if you're a European, you say aeroplanes. Ridiculous. Fucking idiots over there. Anyway, airplanes, pretty fascinating machine we have here. Airplanes, they revolutionized the sky. We humans have really revolutionized everything. We've taken over, we've conquered the seas, we've conquered the lands, and then we conquered the fucking skies, bro. But also kind of scary, especially what's been happening recently with like Boeing and stuff like that, all those planes crashing. Pretty dangerous shit going on over there, but it's pretty unlikely that you're gonna get into a plane crash. And then we have automobiles above planes. Maybe less impressive than a plane because we're in the fucking sky, but it's more accessible and it's less scary, despite the mortality rate being significantly higher in a plane. I've been in a car crash before. I've never been in a plane crash, but I've also never been in a plane, so I don't know. Next we have forklifts. Revolutionized. I think I'm saying that word wrong. Revolutionized. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But then we have, like I said, forklifts. It can make construction a hell of a lot easier. Really did revolutionize the construction industry forever, and a magnificent machine. It's seen in Breaking Bad, and that's the only one that I can confirm it's been seen in, is in Breaking Bad, because I used that in the meth lab. Then we have the obvious one, computers. I am filming this on a computer. You may be watching this on a computer. Everyone has a computer, but then it's beaten out by the top 2 spot. At number 2, we have elevators. Elevators, completely fucked over the stair, industry. It's really crazy, but not every place can have stairs. Some places, maybe it's like a little, what's it called? A little jump that you need to get over. So you just use a stair. It's like maybe a 5-step stair. But if you have a lot of stairs, it's really tiring to, get through these stairs. So you have to go through the elevator, but it's kind of scary if it's like a little scuffed elevator. I went through a scuffed elevator one time. It was crazy, bro. It was ridiculous. And then number 1, everybody saw it coming. It's phones. It's just the best machine we have. It's one of the best inventions humans have ever made. I'm looking at my phone right now. It's pretty crazy. It's like a computer, but in my pocket. You're more than likely watching this on a phone. And yeah, that was my list for the top 10 machines. This is whatever I called the YouTube channel. This is top 10. Oh, I forgot. I was just thinking about this. We have an honorable mention. I told my friend about my fever dream, and he had a specific request for a machine that he wanted me to mention. It did not crack my top 10, but this is an honorable mention. Let me pull it up real quick on my phone. That was the number one. It's the phone I mentioned earlier.
Alright, so the first thing you gotta do off the ripper is the massaging fleshlights. Yo, the shits that like vibrate shit, the vibrating fleshlights, like you put your dick in, it vibrates. Them shits go too hard. You have to.
So unfortunately, I did not rank them in my list. I'm doing this in one take. But that is an honorable mention. Anyway, subscribe to the top 10 channel. I don't know what I called it yet, but it's the top 10 channel. You gotta subscribe to it. We got mahogany tables coming up next. We have ladders coming up next. It's gonna be a crazy ride.